welcome to the program after the break. Now the telephone lines are open. You can make telephone calls to pass any comment on today's program, or add to my knowledge and add to the knowledge of the viewers. Or you can ask any question if I'm able to answer that question. Now, as I was discussing, so I covered the internal political turmoil in Saudi Arabia that could cause the downfall of Saudi Arabia in the next 5 to 7 years, 10 years. And I covered the economic problems in Saudi Arabia. And the next dimension through which we cover, the next kaleidoscopic view through which we assess Saudi Arabia, is the geopolitical and geostrategic realities in the Middle East. So Alan Hart would be here next Monday. He and we will discuss that at length. So how US, UK and European EU countries, they became wary of Saudi Arabia when they came to know about the Saudi designs to foment, to support, to fund radicalization and extremism in the Western countries. And like Egypt, Qatar and Oman, they are towing their own lines. Qatar is becoming independent since 2014, and again on its own toes. And then Oman is distancing from Saudi Arabia politically, although geographically can't, but politically is distancing. Likewise, Egypt with Sisi, and there is a huge trust deficit between Sisi and Salman. So another area is Pakistan. Now, their strength in Pakistan in funding extremism in Pakistan and bloodletting in Pakistan, creating the killers, the suicide bombers in Pakistan, funding them for the last 20-25 years. Now, that is also diluting, that is also receding. So they normally say, when the water rises, the fish eat the ants. But when the water recedes, the ants eat the fish. Now the ants are eating the fish. So Saudi Arabia is really withdrawing from Pakistan, compelled to withdraw from Pakistan. So likewise, China and Russia, they are part of now that scenario where they have to discipline Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. We have a caller online. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. My name is Sajjad Shah from Iwickham. My question would be that Saudi Arabia now, it purportedly made itself out to be some sort of a leader, representative of the Muslim Ummah. And at the moment, they are far from it. Indeed, when you look at, I think it was one of the Saudi princes, Prince Talal, who was saying, well, if the conflict between Palestine and Israel blew up, he would be supporting the Israelis rather than the Palestinians. And when their allegiances have changed over time, and if you look at the activities of the likes of ISIS, they seem to be, unconcerned, and they've also started off wars in Yemen as well. And there is a very clear, I think they have this anti-Shia thinking as well, because they've taken it to a sectarian level. But although the motives and intentions they want to achieve are totally separate, but they're using that as a tool as well. So in fact, it didn't take the outsiders to divide the Muslims. They've actually helped sort of taken the leading role in doing that as well.
Thank you, Brother Sajjad. You seem well informed, and it's a very good point actually.
Saudi Arabia will become irrelevant for us, for the Muslims in this region in the future. And as you say, I think he's just being more than just a grave for himself, but for his whole nation, really.
Thank you, brother. Let's pray for it then. Thank you, brother. Thanks for your call. We have another caller. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. We have another caller.
Wa alaikum assalam. Bhai Dr. Ijaz. मैं शबीर वेदी बोल रहा हूँ बेल्जियम से.
Mashallah, good to hear your voice. What a melodious voice from Belgium.
अरे थैंक यू वेरी मच. माशाल्लाह, खुदा ताला आपकी तौफीकात में इजाफा फरमाए. आपने बहुत अच्छी इंफॉर्मेशन दी है. इसी तरीके से कंटिन्यू रखिए. इसराइल के ऊपर भी और अमेरिका के ऊपर भी जरा डिस्कस कीजिएगा. शुक्रिया. खुदा हाफिज.
But you are sitting in Brussels. You put some weight into into NATO and other places. Thank you. Thanks for your call. Do we have another caller? Okay, so we will discuss the geopolitical and geostrategic realities of Middle East and reshaping of the Middle Eastern security architecture in the Middle East. after the signing of the nuclear agreement between Iran and P+5 powers. So we will discuss when Alan Hart hopefully is with me next Monday. So I jump on to the next dimension, the next angle through which we discuss the imminent downfall of Saudi Arabia. It's not my wishful thinking, but my argument is based on the available literature through the print media or through the electronic media, whatever has been published, whatever has been broadcast in the last year or so. I picked up my argument from there. So I take full responsibility of providing evidence to each and every point I discuss in this program. So the next angle is the Saudi wars. Now, war, they normally say that war is a very expensive business to do. And there are very little dividends of war. I take this word from Jeremy Corbyn, the current Labour leader. He says that there are very few dividends of war. All is there that the invoice is becoming heavier and heavier when you put money on that. So Saudi wars, let me tell you, in the last 30 years, Saudi Arabia has funded, has radicalized, has conceived, executed, and supported as many as 18 major armed conflicts in the Muslim world and 7 armed conflicts in the non-Muslim world. So 25. So interestingly, Saudi Arabia funded, now this is a reality we all pay our gratitude to Edward Snowden, who in the last 3 years has unveiled hitherto hidden treasures of information, the cyber information. So he has given so much of information now. He has exposed so much that today we have the argument to be supported by empirical evidence drawn very quickly. Anybody can draw that from the internet through the cyber support. So Saudi Arabia has funded extremism in Pakistan, India, UK, and the EU countries in the last 30 years or so. 2 months ago, I read a few articles published in the Indian newspapers that Saudi Arabia funds extremism, the Wahhabi, Salafi, and Deobandi mindset in India, spending 17 billion rupees annually. So 17 billion rupees annually Saudi Arabia has been spending on India to radicalize the people and to create camp followers in India, supporting the Saudi way of life, Saudi way of religion, Saudi way, the political way. So then war in Iraq in the last 25 years or so, what Saudi Arabia has done and funded. Then war in Syria, another reality, very stark reality. And then war in Yemen, war in Bahrain, and quelling the pro-democracy, indigenous pro-democracy movement in Bahrain. So again, Saudi spent billions of dollars in that, and the tanks and arms. And then war, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Sipai Sahaba, Lashkar-e-Jhangvi in the 1980s and 90s. And now ISIL, Al-Shabaab, Al-Nusra, Boko Haram, and you name. And these people, they keep on changing the rubric. So the appellation changes, but the modus operandi and the objectives, they remain the same. That kill the innocent people, and through terror and horror, try to consolidate their internal and external politics. We have another caller online. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Brother Ijaz. Nice to see you on the program again.
Your name, please, brother?
I watch you all the time. Very interesting.
Your brother, your name,
you
please.
Got a merit, lot of knowledge, and may Allah keep on giving you and doing a good job.
Your name, please, brother.
My name is Azad.
Sorry?
Azad.
Azad.
Yeah.
Yes, brother. Welcome to the program.
Yeah. Now, Brother Ijaz, what you are discussing, Saudi Arabia. Now, if you go to say, in reality, not trying to be very abusive, but the people who are ruling it, and if they have got any sense, to be honest about it, I don't think they worked for a single penny in their life. It's all oil money.
Yes, brother.
They are being told what to do. They can't even think for themselves. So there is somebody who is behind that, to be honest about it. And without their support and everything, Saudi Arabia cannot even last a day, to be honest about it, because Saudi Arabia has got nothing.
I agree with you, brother. I agree with you 100%.
So we really have to concentrate who is behind that, because Saudi Arabia is been protected. They have been armed by somebody, and they have been told what to do as well. So I think Saudi Arabia naturally is an idiotical force there, which has got nothing in them. If they had any brains on them, believe me, to be honest about it, people would really praise them. They have got the most beautiful land blessed to them, but unfortunately, they are in the time of Jahalat when the Prophet was there. They would not change, and they will never change.
Brother Azad,
Anyway, thank you.
Brother Azad, stay on the line, please. Now,
Yeah.
our problem is, to be honest, I mean, you are reflecting whatever I said towards the introduction of my program today. Our hearts and soul, that is with the Saudi people, the 30 million Saudi brothers. We love them, and we want them to have prosperity. We want them to have dividends of this oil money. We want to have the dividends of democracy. We are with them, and we pray for this Saudi regime, these royal people, that they should mend their ways. We are in the 21st century. New realities are coming. Openness is coming. Freedom is coming. Autonomy is coming. And freedom of expression. And all these, they are the fruits of modern democracy. We really have pity on these people. If they change their lives, we would be the first people. We would be the first people to praise them in our program. Thanks for your call, brother.
Anyway, brother, can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, please.
Hello?
Please,
Hello?
please, you can say yeah.
Yeah. Say, for instance, that if people are not going to support Saudi Arabia, am I on the line?
Yeah, you're on the
Hello?
line. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Say, for instance, if there is no support from the outer force with Saudi Arabia, do you think the peace will ever take place in an Islamic country? Because I think it's so deeply rooted. We are being sold. In fact, mentally, we have been slaved.
Thank you, brother.
We are not using our
Thank you,
own
brother. I really enjoyed your argument. Whenever you call me, I'm rather enlightened and get educated from your views. Thanks for your call, brother. You have another caller, please? Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
जी वालेकुम सलाम.
Your name, please, brother.
शाह साहब, तालिब गिलानी बोल रहा हूँ जी, मैं लंदन से.
Welcome to the program. खुश आमदीद आपको कॉल के लिए.
जी, तो मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है कि ये जो सऊदी अरेबिया कर रहा है वर्ल्ड में, ये वर्ल्ड को भी पता है और खुद सऊदी अरेबिया को भी पता है कि ये वर्ल्ड के लिए भी ठीक नहीं है और खुद उसके लिए भी ठीक नहीं है. तो क्या इसके पास कुछ सोचने समझने वाले लोग मौजूद नहीं हैं, या ये एक किस सिलसिले में है, इस पे जरा रोशनी डालिएगा प्लीज.
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
ये मेरा क्वेश्चन है.
तालिब गिलानी साहब ने कहा कि क्या सोचने वाले को थिंक टैंक या एडवाइज़र या खबाल या एक जो कैबिनेट होती है वो मौजूद नहीं है. डेफिनेटली मौजूद है, लेकिन उनमें भी बहुत से लोगों का, बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट लोगों का जो कि रोल प्ले कर सकते हैं. दे हैव देयर ओन एक्स टू ग्राइंड, दे हैव गॉट देयर ओन वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट. सऊदी अरब में इसी तरह का एम्ब्रोलियो रहना, स्टेटस को रहना, उनमें उनके बच्चे, उनकी अयाशियाँ, उनकी लेविश लाइफस्टाइल मेंटेन होता रहता है. दे रियली डोंट वांट टू डू. Thanks for your call, brother. We have another caller. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so we were discussing that Saudi wars. So 25 wars they fought in the last 30 years or so. And as per the figures, I'm very, very meticulous in mentioning the statistics. They have spent more than $300 billion in funding these wars and armed conflicts, skirmishes on the borders, and civil wars, and demonstrations, agitations, arson, bomb blasts, sniper firing, assaults, killing people in the mosque, killing people in azakhanas, killing people in churches. So all this has been funded by staggering $300 billion. With $300 billion out of 57 Muslim countries, there are 48 poor Muslim countries. They can, all the poverty alleviation projects from A to Z, they can be launched successfully, and all these people will have $30,000 per year per capita in each and every country. So, but priorities are different. As Brother Talib Gilani was saying, the priorities are different. They don't want to do that. They want to maintain the status quo. So this is all about. So next is the progressive moral degeneration and moral decadence. I would like to give you 10, 12 points on that. First of all, you must have known that the life of King Abdulaziz was very colorful, with 24 wives and with over 50 children, and the holidays in French Riviera, in Nice, holidays in California, and the residences in the lavish places on earth, and all these things, and gambling in Monaco, and spending money on lavish palaces, castles in Western Europe. I mean, all these things, they are part of the lavish life of King Abdulaziz. They might say this is his own money, he was spending that. So anyway, but this is a wealth, it's Batul Mal. It's a wealth, kullu muslimun ikhwatun. So this Batul Mal belongs to the Muslims, 57 Muslim countries. So the next is, I mean, his son Saud, who ruled from November 1964 to November 1975, 11 years he ruled. He was another debauched character. So he actually surpassed his father. He's overtook his record. He had 30 wives and 115 children. And in addition to that, he had so many romances in the Western Europe and United States, and you name them, and he had that. Then recently, a leading British newspaper published a report on King Fahd, the first Suderi child of King Abdulaziz, who ruled from 1982 to 2005. So he was, when he was 46 years of age and he was a prince, he fell in love with an 18-year-old Palestinian Christian with the name Junan Harb. And later on, he married her secretly, and now she fought a civil suit, and now recently the British judicial system, which is based on fair play, social justice, equality and equity, and we all have trust in British judicial system. We have respect for it. And she has been granted 20 million pounds, $32 million as towards the damages which King Fahd, he failed to offer her or provide her, and reneged his promise. He died, and later on his son and his children, they did not honor the commitment their father made with Junan Harb. But now recently she has been granted. She is very happy. And another thing is, next point, in February 2010, we all know that King Saud bin Abdulaziz, Prince Saud bin Abdulaziz, a Saudi gay homosexual prince, he killed his homosexual partner in London's landmark hotel. He was prosecuted, the Crown Prosecution Service did the best job, and he was sentenced to 20 years. But 2 years later, in 2013, his parents, the powerful royal Saudis who have invested in this country over $10 billion, so they took him clean, and he got he's enjoying his life in Riyadh. He goes to Bahrain and he gambles there. He goes to elsewhere. There are more than 20 casinos in Bahrain. So they go there and just crossing King Fahd causeway, and they enjoy their life. The next point is that a young Saudi blogger, Raif Badawi, who was sentenced for flogging, sentenced to be flogged 1,000 lashes. So now there is a hope that he might be released. There's a lot of huge pressure from the Western world. Another, a British tourist, a British worker who worked in Saudi Arabia for a little while, but as a tourist, he's more known as a tourist, Carl Andri. So he was also awarded a sentence of 350 lashes. So where are we living? Are we living in 21st century? We are living in the troglodytes' time. We are living in prehistoric time. We are living when Abu Sufyan and Harb and Hind and all these people used to be involved in highway robberies in Hijaz, and later on became the respectable, honorable mandarins of Islam after the demise of Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this, on the same lines, these people are still living in the time of Abd Shams, the time of Harb, the time of Hind, the time of Abu Sufyan, the time of Muawiyah. They are not understanding these realities. So obviously, if they are punishing, sentencing these people with lashes in the 21st century, what are you doing? So next point is that the British, in September this year, another very big story, that in Los Angeles, a Saudi prince, Majid Abdulaziz Al Saud, he was charged of violent sexual crimes, and he was incarcerated, and then he spent a lot of money, and he tried to buy the social justice. So anyway, he got away with it. The legal system provides that if there is no evidence, or if you get a powerful, big solicitor, attorney to fight your case and to defend you, then there is always a chance that if case is properly contested or properly defended in the court, there is a chance that you get relief. So now he's free again in the United States. So another, Saudi Prince Abdul Mohsen bin Walid bin Abdul Aziz, he was arrested recently for possessing 2,000 kilograms of Captagon pills and cocaine. They're ecstasy, things, and they're stuff, and they are consumed by the people who are heavily alcoholic, and they like party life, nightlife, and ecstasy, all these things. So this man is in Beirut. So authorities, they arrested him, and he's being prosecuted there. There are a few stories from Saudi Arabia. Some people they are sharing now, and some bloggers, they have started writing that maybe at some stage Saudi Arabia decides to say, okay, if Prince Abdul Mohsen bin Walid is released or is exonerated in Beirut, they might think about expulcating Ayatollah Nimr. But that is only the information available through the bloggers. It cannot be evidenced with anything empirical. But people have started talking about that. And the last point is, which as a tribute, which is as integral part of their moral degeneration, is the recent Hajj fiasco. The total incapacity of the Saudi royals, Saudi regime, to manage this event of Hajj. So we saw the crane fall, we saw over 7,000 people, they were killed in stampede. So all these things are really, they are epitome, they reflect the moral degeneration of the Saudi royal family. So the list is very long. I have just covered the outlines of these. Next Monday, when I appear in the same program around the same time, I shall be having Alan Hart, and we will be discussing the geopolitical and geostrategic new trends in the Middle Eastern region, and what is the future of the Gulf Cooperation Council, and what will be the future of the Arab League. Both are headquartered, ironically, in Saudi Arabia, one in Riyadh, other in Jeddah. So obviously, if you are controlling the entire Arab League, you're controlling GCC, and you don't have capacity to control them, then definitely 0 plus 0 is always 0. Now this is a time I reiterate what I said, that we don't want Saudi Arabia to become weak. Saudi Arabia is the country of our brothers. They are our Muslim brothers. We love them, and we want them to be prosperous, to be powerful, socially powerful. They should have social empowerment to decide their own future. And we want a really a transparent and accountable rule in Saudi Arabia. If democracy comes there, a real genuine democracy comes there in Saudi Arabia, I would be the first person to say a Fatiha on the grave of King Abdullah. With that, I end my program. Next Monday, hopefully, I shall be having Alan Hart in my program, and we will discuss in more details that what is all about Saudi Arabia going towards its decline. Thank you very much for being with us.